What's good, guys? This is Sin, and today I will be covering what I personally believe are the top 10 best decks to play in the upcoming format, featuring magnificent Mavens. The set changed absolutely everything since we now have the Ishizu monsters, which is extremely painful to deal with. Anyways, before proceeding into this top 10 video, friendly reminder to like and subscribe, check me out Twitch and Instagram, and now let's get right into it. So in my number 10 position, I have Bisted branded Despia. It's a good deck. Nobody really plays Dimension Barrier. It can abuse the Bisted monsters. It can do a lot of nasty things, actually, because there's like direct synergy in the archetype. So that's actually really cool when handshaps can actually get your stuff going, on top of being able to just do so much off of a single branded fusion. And you can also like Ra's Disciple lock people, or like AGIDO or IDO or whatever. So the deck definitely has a lot going for it. In the number 9 position, I have Exorcister, and the reason why it's in the top 10 is simply because it can abuse Dimension Shifter. That card is unfair, so if your deck is actually not too bad and can play that card, you're definitely in a very good position. But Exorcister being able to do quite a lot when it has Martha is definitely something that I can appreciate. In the number 8 position, I have a deck that is very similar to Bisted Despia, and that would be Bisted Dragon Link. Although I will say that the deck probably utilizes the Bisted engine a little better because obviously now that they're dragons, there's like an extra layer of synergy. You can also play nasty floodgates such as Rivalry of the Warlords, and Chaos Space being able to like search a bunch of cards and draw cards is also really cool. In the number 7 position is a deck that caught me off guard the first time it did well, and the reason for that was because I had no idea what it did, and that's the reason why the deck is so good, because nobody knows what it does, and that's Recast on Avalon. It can play Floodgates, it can play Mystic Mine, it can also play through the Mystic Mine by using the Glamour to tribute your own monster, so the deck is actually very good if piloted correctly. In the number 6 position, I have another deck that is really explosive, but very hard to play, and that would be Draco Slayer. The end boards are extremely unbreakable, and if you can put up a secret village on top of like a bunch of negates, there's pretty much no way you're losing. Unfortunately, the deck does have issues with Nibiru, but if nobody's really playing Nibiru, you'll be fine. Number 5, I have a deck that plays the Ishizu cards, so it's kind of destined for greatness, and that would be NATURIA Ishizu. The NATURIA cards kind of benefit off of mailing thanks to the Secret Tree being able to search any NATURIA card when it's sent to the graveyard, and thanks to the Ishizu monsters, you can also shuffle back your Secret Tree or whatever card that you want back into the deck so that you can search it again. So the deck can actually search a bunch of cards in one turn. The one issue, though, is that it has to play a lot of bricks because the old NATURIA monsters are actually really awful. Nonetheless, if you can put up NATURIA Beast and Synchro Summon Trishula on your opponent's turn, on top of being able to control the graveyard, you'll definitely be fine. Alright, in the number 4 position, I have a deck that I hate from the bottom of my heart, but unfortunately I have to include it, and that would be Flunderies. Another shifter deck, but being able to utilize Windbearer statue is extremely unfair, and of course if you have Robina and Shifter, there's basically no way you lose. The deck is very sacky, but it definitely can brick, so I can't really put it in like number 1 or 2 spot. Number 3 is what used to be the best deck not too long ago, but it actually kind of downgraded because now the Ishizu cards actually deal with that deck very well, and that would be RUNICK SPRIGHT. Still a very good deck, the Fountain can still draw cards, but this time the Ishizu monsters can actually counter it by shuffling back the targets, so that instead of drawing 3 cards, you draw 0 cards. But the deck can use Lava Golem very well, because you can use the Wind-Up Kitten to bounce it back and then Lava Golem your opponent again, so the deck definitely is very nasty in the right hands. Alright, this is kind of like a hot take, but I'm gonna say it anyways. Number 2 spot is Pure Sprite, very specifically built to beat Ishizu Tearlaments. You could actually main deck Shifter or a bunch of Bisted monsters or whatever else you want, and the deck is actually very good if you're playing it correctly, although I will say it's kind of like a helmet deck, but again, if you're building it correctly and you're doing the right decisions, you'll definitely be able to go very far. And last but definitely not least, I don't even have to say it, it's Ishizu Tearlaments, no shit. Very consistent, very powerful, although one thing that I will say is that the Ishizu cards didn't really improve the power level of the deck, but rather only the consistency. So if you're making less Omni Negates now, you might actually start losing to evenly, and you still kind of lose to like Lava Golem and Sphere mode, although you still have a lot of cards that can do something in the graveyard, and you can have like a Hoffinus in the hand and a bunch of trap cards, so you might still be fine. But that's pretty much all I had to say for this top 10 best deck video. What are your thoughts on the format? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.